Hi guys, we are going to talk about some e-commerce fun stuff. So let's begin with the most interesting, which is how it all started. Did you know that 1948 was the year that they invented e-commerce? I mean, I only think there was like stones and rocks and nothing more at this age. But yeah, it's actually begun with some German scientists after some Second World War it was, yeah. And they did some transactions between one computer to another computer, and it was like all like fresh and new. Nobody knows how to handle this. So yeah, so that was the beginning. That's one interesting fact which we are going to discuss further in this video. So stay tuned and let me show you what else we are going to have in the video. Okay, so let me show you what we are going to cover over in this video. What are the subjects? We are going to speak about 4 things as of now. First of all, because it's in e-commerce, so everybody speaks about e-commerce and all that, but like many different people have different definition of the term e-commerce. So first of all, we're going to make a definition so everybody is on the same level, speak the same language. That's first. Then we're going to cover the history of e-commerce. This is going to be the subject number 1. And we're going to cover principles of e-commerce, because you have to know how you're doing things and how it works. Everybody thinks they know, but kinda. So we're gonna explain some stuff that may be trivial, maybe not. And we'll talk about the future of e-commerce, which I hope would be not as long as this video, but we'll still see how it goes. And let's dive straight to the video, I guess. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the history of e-commerce and from where it all started and began, which is very interesting, because I didn't believe it was in 1948, but apparently it did. And what Britannica tells us is that after the Berlin blockade and airlift, which they had in 1948-49, then they used the system for businesses to exchange invoices between suppliers and their businesses. And they used a system which is called telex, which we'll maybe discuss later on. If it's more interesting for you, you can write me in the comments, and we'll do another video specifically about this subject. And what they did was transferring files through computers in the business, which was invoices and orders and some lists. And it all worked from 49 to 75 until in 75, finally, they did a general standard which was published in 75, and it was already established protocol which more businesses use and more companies started to investing in computers and exploiting this thing. And later on, until we developed the protocols for the wide web, which was the internet, and only then we started using terms like e-commerce, which was later on used in a wider approach. Yeah, so just like we said, after the invention of the telex and how they use the protocol in 1969, when CompuServe was founded by Dr. John R. Goltz and Jeffrey Wilkins, which were the early adopters using the dial-up connection, and in 1980s, which was the first steps for the internet, when it was still baby and still wasn't like sure what it's gonna be, and people didn't believe in it and what it may become later on. Then we had in 1979, just 10 years later, when Michael Eldridge invents the electronic shopping with a TV set, which I don't know if we can find the commercial to show you how he did it, but it basically took your remote from the TV and they did a specific setup, and you could order things online, so to say, but just using your TV, which was like the first e-commerce. And Michael Eldridge, he believed that was going to be like the next internet, and this is how people are going to exchange value with each other, which is basically e-commerce. And using his system with the TV, it wasn't like tangible and financially until they invented the internet, and you can use like wide protocols and using all the infrastructure which afforded the transfer of electronic data using his system, which was in 1979 already invented. And then just 3 years later, in 1982, when the Boston Computer Exchange launches, and it was Boston Computer Exchange. They were the first e-commerce company on the planet, you can say, and they did like the first moves. What they actually did was funny. They were selling a reused computers. So if you had your old computer from 70 or whatever year it was, then you wanted to sell it because it was used, then you would sell it through their exchange, which was the first e-commerce in 82. And then in 92, which is again a 10-year step, you had Bookstacks Unlimited, which was launched, and it was first online bookstore which you could buy online. Nobody believed in that, and people said, who's going to buy books on the internet and read them? And look at us now, all we do is read like online with all the ebook readers and with the Kindle and all the other things that we use. And then we had in 94 we had Netscape Navigator, which launched as a web browser, if you all remember that, because, well, I'm 35, so I remember that, but I'm not sure like how old are you or young. And then we had in 95 the legendary Jeff Bezos launched the Amazon, and from there it was just history. You had the 98 PayPal launches, and not a lot of people know, but in 1999, just before the millennium crash of the universe, which we were all so afraid, Alibaba launches, which is from 99, so they're like 22 years old now as of recording of this video. And later on, all the things which we had, like Google and Shopify and Amazon and Amazon Prime, and all the websites, all the platforms, and like with all the crazy things that we have now. So this basically sums up, like in short, the history of e-commerce. Obviously, we can speak about this for a long time, but it's an introduction video, and just wanted to cover like briefly all the interesting touch points. And obviously, you can write me in the comments if I did a lousy job explaining this as I should, but you can do it in the comments. I would like to hear what you have to say. And okay, so now we're moving to the next subject. Okay, now we are going to talk about, which is like an obvious subject, it's how e-commerce works. Everybody like speak all kinds of things, and I just want to make some arrangement with you and me, which we are defining how it works, and everybody's on the same level, everybody understands, nothing crazy, just like let me see if we're all on the same page here. So basically how e-commerce works is you are, as a consumer, whether you're a business or a person, just a client, how to call you, making someone ordering something online. Let's say you're ordering a computer, for the example, and now you're just like clicking best computer ever for my cool room, and you're like you're browsing a website, which is step 2. This website, which is where you conduct the business, which is the stores of online. Obviously, like it's an obvious thing for a lot of people, but still it's important to understand. And nowadays, e-commerce goes to like social networks and other places, and live shopping and video shopping, all kind of things. But basically, it's just a website where you conduct a business with some business, and you browse it, you add to the cart, you do the checkout. Now you're processing the payment using your credit card or Afterpay, or pay now, pay later, or never pay, just buy and run, or all kind of things which they're inventing every day. And after you pay, now there is a delivery company which is like sitting waiting for you to buy your computer, so you can so they can deliver it to you, whether through ports or flying or train or wherever you live, or if it's Amazon Prime, or maybe you have some like, I don't know, 2 birds just carrying your computer and dropping it on your door front. So this is how the process of e-commerce, this is how it works. This is the whole chain of reaction. Now on each step over here, which is where you're buying, what you're buying, or how they deliver it, all those things are constantly upgrading and updating using new technologies and new infrastructure, like all kind of new things which we are going to discuss a little bit further in this video. I just wanted to make sure everybody on the same page how e-commerce works as a process. And another interesting point which I wanted to make is usually when you go like to buy something in a store, it's a physical product which you can also order online, and that's physical products. That's how e-commerce works. But what is amazing for me, and like most of my job is like digital, so let's say you want to buy some ebook or some electronic I don't know, a game or anything which is not tangible, which you can't physically feel in your hands. So you're using money, real money, to buy something which is not real because it's not in the real world. I'm making this statement specifically because we are entering the metaverse kind of things, which is right now starting, and probably in 5-10 years when you're going to watch this video again and you're going to remember we spoke about this. So everything is going to be digital. Like the only tangible things are probably going to be food, which you can't live without, or anything like that. And yeah, so just wanted to make the difference between physical products and digital products. In terms of process of how e-commerce works, the same. It's just there is no delivery company which working for you. You just download it through the wide web, through the air, and just get it to your computer or phone or whatever. And for me, it's always magic, because I grew up without all of this, but still I'm every day enjoying and fascinated by how all of this works, especially digital goods. So I hope, just write me in the comments below if you think that's also cool, that we have like digital products, or you're more a person of like something tangible, like a book, or feeling something that you buy. Maybe it's more fun for you. Just let me know in the comments below. All right, so now we're going to cover the things that I'm passionate about, which is 3 principles of e-commerce. I mean, e-commerce, you're conducting business with each other, you're conducting business. So 3 main principles which are absolutely necessary in any e-commerce business, or any business for that matter, is first of all, trust. I mean, how are you gonna conduct any interaction between humans or businesses or without trust? Obviously, you have to have some sort of if it's not a verbal agreement or some written agreement. So I'm not talking about all the privacy policy which you all kind of sign up and you just skip them. I'm talking about like a real business which is trying to conduct business with you, and we are in 2022, right, as of recording this video. But if you remember, like 8 years or 7 years ago, when everybody was like afraid, oh my God, I can't show my credit card on the internet, they're gonna steal all my data and all my stuff. Well, it was true, because there was no trust, and you couldn't trust a website or a seller or anything. Nowadays, it's a basic. I mean, you expect to buy something online and not to be I can say that on YouTube, and not being like lied to, let's say gently. So trust is an absolutely must-have principle in e-commerce, and every time you buy something online, just make sure that you buy from a safe website. And if it's a seller that sells, he wants to know that you're not just gonna trick him for refunds and all that. Yeah, if you can hear the sirens, just ignore them. I mean, it happens, it's life, and they're doing their own business, so we are not interrupting with that. And just yes, 1 second, and they're done. Okay, so second principle is communication. Just as I'm communicating with you right now, and you're watching me, I'm watching you, and we're talking. I mean, it's not like live session, but still we're in connection. And even now, because e-commerce is all digital, and you are like on your screen, on your phone, TV, wherever you buy, on the tablet, whatever. You ask Alisa to buy things for you. So another Alisa is for the Russians. Siri. If you ask your Siri or Alexa or all those, just like smart thing that buys for you in the internet. So what I'm trying to say is communication. I mean, before the internet, when you were going to a business and doing some commerce anywhere, they just tell you either buy or go away, and that's it. But now, since everything is digital and online, you want to be in communication. You want to talk with the support on the Facebook, on the WhatsApp, on the phone, on whatever. You have to communicate. Like, it's not enough for you just to see a picture or something or a review or anything. So business side, businesses must understand that they have to be in communication with the client, because this is like bread and butter of their business. And we as consumers, we expect businesses to conduct any connection with us. And even if it's like business to business, if you say selling something to a business, it's still people which you talk to with the manager or the CEO or whoever manages the buyer. So communication is principle number 2, which is very important. And that leads us to principle number 3, which is agility. I mean, not like when you're dancing agility, because like I'm good at that, but not sure like everybody how they're doing that. I'm just kidding, like not sure if I'm good. But in business, especially in e-commerce and digital, if you take like 5 years ago, yeah, they're just doing rounds, so just ignore them. That's okay. It's just sound effects. It's not really happening. So you can do that. Okay, so let's refocus. So agility. Just remember 6 years ago when we had iPhone 7, I think, or 8 or anything like that. So you couldn't buy anything online with the phone. There was no mobile first, and everybody's like crazy about their phones now. So businesses that didn't become adjusting to this, they're just gone. It doesn't matter how big it was the corporation or the business who didn't believe in the internet and the digital revolution which led to e-commerce. They're all gone. Nobody remembers them. Amazon, for example, I'm sorry that I'm mentioning Bezos again, but I have to. So when he did his first shop with the books online, everybody tell him he wouldn't make any success with this because who's going to buy things on the internet? And look where it got us now. So if the business is not agile, it cannot survive in the digital era. This is all I'm trying to say. So this was principle number 3. Great. Well, if you just hang up a little more, we are going to the final subject of this video, which is the future of e-commerce. And I hope you're not watching this in 20 years from now, which is going to be a past of e-commerce for you. So let's make some clear things about the future of our e-commerce. First of all, what fascinates me most is that the fact that when I work in the field and I'm like helping businesses and e-commerce businesses like online and set up the stores and do some marketing, which is Google, Facebook, whatever. But what fascinates me always is that the field is still growing. We have new players, new businesses, new countries. Every day they're just growing the numbers, the sales. It's not like we are in a plateau or declining. It's just like and keep growing. And predictions say that approximately 250 million people a year are gaining access to internet and buying and like digital currency, not digital currency, but like making transactions online and buying things. And the e-commerce, 250 million people, it's almost United States every year. Obviously, we are just 7 billion people, 7 billion people right now, but we're not going to be like 100 billion, I guess, so it's not going to grow always, but the next 10, 20 years, let's say 10 years, 250 million people a year, it's 2.5 billion people which are going to buy some t-shirt online or like some mug for Christmas for grandma or something like that. How is that going to be in terms of like volume of shipping and goods and all that? It's probably going to affect the whole planet. But it's still amazing. I'm excited about it, and I'm just looking to see how it's going to grow. And so in terms of like transaction value and how much goods are sold, just the prediction is saying that just in the United States in 2023-4 it's going to be like a $1.5 trillion, which is like a buying spree of all goods online and e-commerce and all that. $1.5 trillion is probably more zeros than I can fit on a screen of the computer to show you. So that's about the future in terms of prediction, just specifically about the like overall concept of it. And if we talk about technology side, which is another fascinating things which we are going to discuss in this channel a lot. First of all, we're going to talk about some blockchain technology. Yes, I'm not going to say NFTs and all the popular stuff, which is currently making everybody crazy and nobody really understands them. So I'm not going to try to explain any of that. Not sure if I understand it correctly. But blockchain is going to be a big issue in terms of e-commerce because it's going to eliminate a lot of middlemen, which we currently have in the e-commerce business, which I talked about in the process section. You can see the timeline in the description. Another thing which is also like amazing is quantum computers, which I know it's not like related to e-commerce, but just think because we are doing all the transactions and all the things like online and computers are handling this. Just imagine what we can do with quantum computers. You probably just like click buy and some 3D printer going to print your clothes on you as you buy it like online. Or some crazy things. This is how I imagine the future of e-commerce. Let me know in the comments below if you think it's going to be a little bit different or something like that. And obviously we are all waiting for the metaverse so we can put our cool AR glasses, not cool like mine, but maybe cooler, and AR glasses, and we can all just like click some little buttons and just make like sweet things like this, and we will see some amazing like fast fashion or all the brands that are already on the metaverse and all the people that are conducting business and commerce with each other already like on the AR and VR environments. So we're going to see more of that, and this is the future that is waiting for us. And let me know if you think we are waiting for something else. And yeah, so that's exciting, and I hope you're all ready, because I'm here to stay for the whole future of e-commerce. Okay, so we're summing up the whole video, which is like a love something. We're summing up the video. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll keep shooting some great videos like this. Well, if it wasn't great, don't tell anybody, okay? And okay, so if you like the video, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button. You can you can lick it, don't lick it. You can click it twice if you want, it's also cool. If you want to head over to some more in-depth discussions and you want to like connect on some personal level and you want to just talk about something or tell me something, or maybe I tell you something, just follow the link in the description below or up or from the sides, wherever YouTube chooses the descriptions, just follow that. And that's it. Just let me know in the comments what was your favorite part of the video, and let me know where you think I should do a better job, which I don't believe I can, but you know, you tell me, okay? And so that's all. Thank you for watching. You have a great day, and it was very nice to meeting you. Bye bye.